Okay, so now the top's attached to the body, the next big job is to route for the pickups. And to do this, we're going to need our master template with the pickup cavities in it. Now I'm not going to be using a Telecaster neck pickup on this build, I'm going to be using a humbucker, but I'm going to use this template to mark the front edge of the pickup and then just use a separate humbucker template to cut the rest of it out. I'm just going to mark them with a pencil. Now this is actually quite easy to set up because the top is in two halves. I can use the glue line along the centre to match up with the marks on the template to get a really accurate position for these pickups. So that's the outlines roughly marked. And like any of these operations where I'm removing a large quantity of material, I'm going to drill most of the waste out before I take the router to it. It just reduces the risk of any chipping out, any breakage, and it also means that your router bits last much longer. Now the bridge pickup in this guitar is going to be a stacked humbucker, which means it's a lot deeper into the body than a standard Telecaster pickup. So the bridge pickup route is going to be about 28mm deep. Still leaves us plenty of meat underneath the pickup. And I'm going to do the humbucker at about 3/4 of an inch, so about 18mm ish. I haven't got the pickup yet, so I don't know exactly how deep I need to go, but I will have the pickup before I do any finishing work, so that's not going to be a problem. Right, let's get this to the drill press and start hogging out some material. Okay, so that's the bulk of the waste removed. Now it's just a case of attaching the templates and routing out the rest of it. Pretty standard super glue and masking tape to fix the templates on. What I'm probably going to have to do, because my master template is actually quite thick and this is a deep route, so I'm probably going to have to go down so far with the template on, then take it off and finish off by running the bearing of the router cutter around the bit that I've already cut out. But pretty straightforward, won't be a problem I don't think. So let's crack on. I take it back about it won't be a problem. It could be a problem. Let's not do any of that tempting fate stuff. Right, get my ears on and start routing. Okay, so that's the pickup cavities routed. And they've come out really nicely. I'm happy with those. And as you can see just here, the little extra cutout I added to get the controls through has come out nicely as well. We might have to adjust that slightly as time goes on to get the controls through, but it's all looking good for the time being. Okay, so there's a couple of things you might have picked up in the last clip when I was routing the pickups. Firstly, I was using this tool to set the depth of the cut on the router. It's just a little jig by Trend. It's got a little ruler that slides in it. You set it to the depth of cut that you want and then place that against the router bit and adjust it until the cutter is touching the ruler. Obviously, you probably need to have the router unplugged at this point, just in case, but it is very, very good tool for setting up your router. It's got 0.5 millimeter increments and you can set it up to that level of accuracy, so it is really, really good. You can also get digital ones. I can't really see the point in that. And you might have also seen me rubbing something on the template and the router base, and that was simply a little block of wax. On the first pass with this template on, it was grabbing a little bit and it was a little bit hard to control, so I just rubbed a little bit of wax on and that made it really easy to move around. I always have a little block of wax handy. It's great for lubricating the soles of your planes. It's also brilliant if you're putting little screws in, say machine head screws, stuff like that. Just rub a little bit of wax onto the threads before you start putting them in. Greatly reduces the risk of breaking them. Okay, onwards. Okay, in terms of next steps for the body, there's only realistically a few things left to do. I need to cut the binding channel all the way around the top. I need to drill the hole for the output jack on the edge of the body, and I also need to route the neck pocket. Now, the way I intend to do this, kind of the critical path is the other two jobs I can't really do until the neck pocket is in. I don't want to do the binding until I've got the neck pocket cut. And I also can't drill the hole for the output jack until I've done the binding. Simple reason being, I'll be using a bearing guided cutter to do the binding, and if I've cut the hole for the output jack, that bearing will go into that and cut a great big divot in the top of my guitar, so I don't want that. So I can't do anything really on the top until I've done the neck pocket. And for reasons that will become apparent when I'm doing it, I can't cut the neck pocket until I'm a certain way along with the neck. So for the time being, we're going to have to put this to one side and start to think about building a neck. Okay, so the neck. I've got a nice piece of figured maple to make the neck out of. If you're picking that up on the camera, but it's quite flamey and nice, so that's good. I've got a nice piece of rosewood for the fingerboard. And you might remember going back to episode 1, because we've all watched that, haven't we? That was talking really enthusiastically about the two-way truss rod I was going to have in, that was going to be adjustable from the headstock end as opposed to the heel of the neck. Now, it took about 5 minutes after that video went live for someone to point out to me that the only way that would work is if I put the truss rod in upside down, which means it would adjust backwards, which might not be a problem for me, but if anyone else was ever trying to set it up, they wouldn't have a clue what was going on. So I can't live with that. That's not really going to work for me. So I spent a bit of time thinking about how I could make it work, and it soon became apparent that there was no really easy way to do it. So what I've decided to do is get rid of that truss rod and instead I've got another truss rod with a wheel adapter on. So we will be adjusting from the heel end of the neck, but this time you won't have to take the neck off to do it. I've never done one like this before, so it's going to be a learning experience for me. The adjuster's black and it's going to be against a rosewood fingerboard, so visually I think it will look fine. I think in practice it will adjust fine, so I don't really have a problem with it. So I'm going to call time on this episode now. Made a lot of progress, really getting somewhere with the body now. Back very, very shortly with the beginning of the neck build. Look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.